Hello. Today is June 6, 2010. My name is Macon Carrington, and this is my video documentation of how the Secret Service agents and the Pinehurst police came to my front door and threatened me with multiple lawsuits and arrests. I believe that it is important to document their harassment and that every American has the right to defend himself against threatened lawsuits when 4 men with federal and local badges come to his house with those threats of lawsuits and arrests. To begin the story, one Wednesday in May, Joe Waylan of the Charlotte Secret Service called me and asked me if I had any plans on Friday and if I had any plans of threatening President Orack Obama. Okay? I started laughing for one full second before I remembered spending 2.5 years of my life in 17 federal prisons for allegedly threatening President Bush and Dick Cheney. Joe Waylan said that he wanted he wanted to come to Pinehurst and have me talk to him and tell one other person that I did not plan to threaten President Obama. Okay, I told Joe Waylan that I was going to remain silent and to stay away from my property unless he had a proper warrant. However, on Friday, Joe Waylan and at least 3 more federal agents and Pinehurst police showed up at my front door. First, Joe Waylan asked me to step outside my front door, and I complied. He and the Pinehurst investigator, Tracey Carpenter, were the 2 addressing me on my front porch. Joe Waylan yelled and he screamed. He said he saw my other videos mentioning his name and that he would, quote unquote, sue my fucking ass if I ever made another. He used the word fucking 3 times, even as I told him that it was improper. Then he just said he was coming to arrest me if I ever made another video mentioning our beloved President Orack Obama. Then Pinehurst Police Investigator Tracey Carpenter served me with a letter from Pinehurst LLC Corporation that threatened to have me locked up if I wander off onto Pinehurst LLC property, which is everywhere in Pinehurst. This is a corporately owned town. So these men used their federal and local badges to further their own threats of a lawsuit and arrest because they don't like my videos. Okay? I saw 4 federal agents and police. When I went inside, they all stood around outside my house and collaborated with and questioned my stepfather, Joe McKellican, for about 5 minutes. Okay? They also have been harassing my mother by telephone call. Well, Mr. Carpenter, sir, this is Pinehurst, North Carolina, a corporately owned town. Everybody who lives here is a member of the Pinehurst Country Club. I was born in Pinehurst in 1966. My grandmother owned the biggest mansion on course number 2 for 30 years beside the Golf Hall of Fame. And we've owned this home for 29 years. I find your threats empty, sir. And I never thought I'd see a day when a cop came to serve me with a letter from a corporation threatening arrest from my own hometown. And Mr. Waylan, I will remind you that all charges against me for threatening President Bush and Cheney were dropped after 2.5 years of no bail in federal prisons that you helped put me into. Okay? Is that what you all do now? All right? If you don't like what someone is saying to you and your guys over there in Charlotte, your NASCAR masters, Pell and France, okay, and Yealy and the Petty family, do they all just say, threatening the president, and then you're locked up for a couple of years? Is that what the deal is? Because I'm not amused. Okay, I have done nothing illegal, and if you wish to sue me, excuse me, Mr. Waylan, if you wish to sue me, please do so through proper legal channels and an attorney, and not behind a federal badge. This has been Macon Carrington in my documentation video of how federal and local agents and police harassed me at my home during one Friday in May of 2010. And for the record, I have no intentions of threatening anyone, especially President Orack Obama. Okay? However, I do think he is handling the oil spill rather badly, and maybe even intentionally. However, as of right now, I have no information or proof of this allegation. But believe me, threatening a United States president is not something that you want to be accused of and arrested for. Okay? Today is Sunday, June 6, 2010, and I'd like to wish my deceased aunt, Sharon Big Bit Kiker, a happy birthday in heaven. Auntie Puss, have a great and wonderful day.